Howdy Haunts. This is PRAGMAGICK, and I am Keats Ross. Before we toil in the tusses and tones of cassette tape ghosts and radio plays, I'd like to formally announce the HAUNTQUINOX second annual liminal stream event, March 20th, 2023 at 2:23 p.m. on the PRAGMAGICK YouTube channel. The second annual HAUNTQUINOX will feature the haunts of We the Hallowed, all of the wonderful magics and arts casted this past year, as well as works in progress and beautiful audio sigils, video sigils, literary sigils, any kind of medium you can think of will be on display, featuring the works of yours truly, Eric Millar, Lux Estrada, Sam Shadow, Michelle Embry, C.W. Chanter, Bobby of Temple Babylon Karanzan, Sayroth the Mage, with live tarot by Jilly Beans, and so much more. It is going to be a mad dash of whim and wonder. And today, to mark the 1 week before this HAUNTQUINOX, I thought I'd share with you a little bit of what I'm going to be sharing on this big liminal stream. So let us begin with a very fun project. Here is a preview of the PRAGMAGICK Radio Hour's special presentation of The Black Mesa, a scene from my long-form fiction entitled ZOZOBRA, of which you can read on hauntmanual.com. Without further ado, let's haunt on.
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows.
You're listening to the PRAGMAGICK Radio Hour, brought to you by the great friends and fellas down at We the Hallowed. Stay tuned for March 20th for the HAUNTQUINOX of 2023. And now, the continuation of ZOZOBRA.
Państwo także mają.
We last left our woeful, wistful, wimpish cohort of the desert, Mr. Dakota Slim, at the very end of his natural life. Don't take it from Slim, take it from the dead man Ronnie, his old friend, murdered before him, now reanimated to tell him and warn him of the world that awaits. As Slim's watery tomb raises from the flood of the arroyo, the raging storm begins to subside. Slim rises like Lazarus onto the dirt of a new earth.
while Slim searches for his hat in the burnt earth of the Black Mesa. 3 spherical tears in the atmosphere rip the skies. The pink tears form a tetherless triangle hovering above a crouched Slim.
Salvo, siempre salvo.
Slim mutters in wide-eyed awe. Slim would not consider himself a pious man, and as a matter of fact, many considered the trouble boy a heretic. But the words that were written on his orphan basket always find his tongue in times of duress. The hypnotic trance of the cackling ghost orbs breaks as Slim notices an iron taste in his mouth. His nose is bleeding, but he cannot look away from the psionic siren song of these magnificent mauve black holes. Through the psychical hum of the untethered terrace's breathing, Slim notices whimpering coming from 2 small legs dangling from the top sphere. It looks as though an armless child in a white sheet and oversized shit-kicker boots is trying to find their way down to the Black Mesa. The sheet ghost hits the ground in a dust devil of ash as the orbs blip into deafening silence, as if a cathode ray television was suddenly turned off. Slim's bloody face scrunches as he tries to see who or what just came through.
Every fucking time.
A voice from behind Slim startles him into a mad turnaround, but nothing is in front of him.
Hello? Down here, asshole.
Slim lowers his gaze to a sheet ghost-clad being less than half his size. Slim lets out an audible squeak as he pulls himself back.
I always get the fucking high one. I'm bringing a damn ladder next time. I swear.
The sheet ghost's unnaturally large human eyes meet Slim's. They are ordained in an orange hue radiating under a glowing circle on the pinnacle of its forehead. His eyes and forehead circle create the same 3-dot tetherless triangle that birthed him.
You use your bandana to collect the blood from your face, kiddo.
Slim snaps back and realizes his nose is still bleeding. He unties his orange bandana from around his neck and wipes. Slim glances at the blood-riddled bandana, and just as he was considering throwing it away, the sheet ghost halts.
You'll need that blood. And the bandana. It's one of your Vajra.
Vajra? Who are you?
Oh, wait!
The sheet ghost turns its head and emits an ethereal projection of young Slim chasing a coyote from the cyclopean dot on his forehead.
God damn it. Wrong ghost, wrong time.
The sheet ghost ends the projection.
I get all you damn wayfarers mixed up. Hello, hi, how are you? I am many names, but you know me as a being of May. The smiter of symbols, the scolder, the ruiner, the plains drifter, the not late for dinnerer.
Slim tucks his blood-soaked bandana into his vest pocket.
A, May being?
Maybe.
Okay, how do I leave, maybe?
How does one leave the neither? Mr. Dakota Slim, you are in for a trouble. Anyways, tune in next time. The PRAGMAGICK Radio Hour for the continuation of ZOZOBRA, the death of Dakota Slim. But before we end tonight's program, let us have a couple of words from the snickering idiot known as Keats Ross. Nobody listens to this podcast anyway.
Państwo
So, as Beck would say, I'm getting a little crazy with the cheese whiz as far as experimentation and this audio structure of the podcast. I'm not entirely sure of the specifics of the stats, but ever since I kind of halted the usual one-on-one interviews and started going full throttle with my own Hauntomancy workings and reading of the Haunt Manual into radio chapters, or podcast chapters, I should say, PRAGMAGICK's been such a wonderful vessel to collect all of the magics casted from me through various mediums, albeit, now I think I'm only at a podcast a month. But that's not meaning that I don't enjoy this medium. It just means things are taking longer because the audio is very produced now. As with the Radioplay that you just heard, goofy characters and voices and all, that is the intro to the last Haunt Manual chapter that I'm working on, which is why it still hasn't been released as an audio chapter on PRAGMAGICK yet, because as you could tell, it was a lot of editing. One thing I'm struggling with these days, especially in the past couple of months, outside of just insurance woes and stupid brain stuff, is time. Since starting this new career, I'm being worked to the bone, and it feels good to be needed. It feels good to be good at your job, but that just means your need goes up. So I'm still forever trying to find the rhythm and balance to work on PRAGMAGICK, to work on ZOZOBRA, to work on Haunt Manual, all the while, in the past 2 months, I've released 2 dim session albums. In January, it was the Ectogasm album. And on February 23rd of 2023, I released the dim session, The Spectre of 223, on Dakota Slim's Bandcamp. It's taken from, I think, the second Haunt Manual's chapter, Sidewave Serpents, that soundtrack and dim session, that musical, magical ritual that I did. I took the concept of what I did with Ectogasm and I edited it, cut it up, and turned it into sort of a film score soundtrack. And it's been quite a relieving and rewarding asset to my creative ventures to spend, maybe once or twice a month doing these musical rituals of improvised live performance. And it's gifted me not only the ability to find what I thought was once broken synapses to structures and medleys and melodies and things once lost into the annals of time or lack of documentation are now kind of singing through me, as well as communing with the other, whatever that may be, either my subconscious or as recently as working with the spirit box and my dim sessions. So a lot of my creative abandon is pretty much through Haunt Manual and these musical workings. You can read pretty much up to date. I have a new chapter of the Haunt Manual coming out after the HAUNTQUINOX, because pretty much all my time this next week needs to be for setting that up around work. But I've got a lot to write about. This next chapter of the Haunt Manual correlates to C.W. Chanter's 20-year nostalgia loop, Bobby of the Temple of Babylon Karanzan's listening post-alpha kind of sessions, and working with the spirit box and really communing with the ghosts of the past, whether it's of a certain year, as in the SPECTRE working, or in the present, trying to find an aspect of self to conjure, as with the SPECTRE working, which birthed the Ectogasm record. And I'm still feeling the beats and the barks of that SPECTRE working, because I wanted to charge and commune with that time. when I was a kid, and all I cared about was toiling with the tones and tussles of experimentation and creative abandon in my room. And since doing that, working and charging that, I have found that place again. But with it, and like all of these workings, I am honest in saying there are some drawbacks. There are some drawbacks about getting too lost in the fantastical world of this dimming room. And there's a lot to say. And so stay tuned for that on hauntmanual.com. Forgive my meandering speech patterns and, coming off the cuff here. I only had a short amount of time to get this podcast out before the HAUNTQUINOX, and I really wanted to share with you not only the portion of the radio play that I'll be premiering at the HAUNTQUINOX, but also to premiere a song that was composed from a dim session entitled 223 that I released as the Dakota Slim dim session record I spoke about. So that'll be at the end of this here podcast. I think that brings us up to date. As you can tell, it's a myriad, sordid assortment of different casts and magicks, and there's just so much to say that I find that hauntmanual.com, when I sit down and I get the rhythm of the chapter to sit down and structure thoughts and results and the processes of these dim sessions, these hauntomancy workings, these life lessons, that I feel my communication is solid through that. So please subscribe to Haunt Manual if you haven't yet. I got the domain, so it'll take you straight to the Substack, hauntmanual.com. If you'd like to be up to date and want to hear more rather than just hearing the PRAGMAGICK podcast, maybe once or twice a month, you can follow me on patreon.com for as little as $1. You'll get everything. I had just composed a new dim session, actually working with the Spirit Box for a future Haunt Manual writing, and it was a magical working that has to do with the third fold path of the Haunt Manual workings, entitled the Prospector working. And in this one, I basically communed with the Spirit Box musically, whilst also having the Spirit Box commune with my past self by asking questions on cassette tape and playing it as I performed in the present. A 7-minute snippet of that entire session was submitted and will be used for the first issue of Scavenged Rituals, a zine with an Audiomancy CD, of which this session will be on, by Eric Schaefer. So look out for that. I'll definitely keep everyone up to date on that. So basically, I'm going to say this out loud because it'll probably help me kind of conform all of the projects forthcoming. The pressing matter, of course, is the HAUNTQUINOX on the PRAGMAGICK YouTube channel. Come check it out. Last year was a 5-hour phantasmagorical stream of so much arts and magics and just mediamancy, and it was wonderful. This year, I hope it's going to be a little more concise. I've learned a lot from doing these kind of marathon event streams and hosting them, so I hope that it's just as wonderful as last year, and everyone that's involved is such an incredible artist in their own right, even if it's not visual art or any kind of material art. Everyone involved is incredible, and I have WtH's so much to thank for that. The Haunt Manual audio chapter of the third working, the SPECTRE working, entitled Dissolver Echo Resonar, should be out wherever pods are casted next month. I have a new piece on the Haunt Manual coming, which will portend the most recent chapter of the Haunt Manual. Seroth the Mage and my Dream Boys of the New Apocalypse maxi single is coming. We hope to premiere some of that at the HAUNTQUINOX. Still a lot of editing to do. The Green Mushroom and We the Hollowed mixtape is still taking submissions. I'll leave a link for that down below. You have until May 23rd, so not a huge rush, but keep it in mind. We'll talk about it as well at the HAUNTQUINOX. Basically, everyone should tune in to the HAUNTQUINOX. If you're not already, please subscribe to PRAGMAGICK on YouTube to receive updates and notifications. It will be at 2:23 p.m. on March 20th, 2023, and that's simply because the actual equinox is slated for 2:24, but we all know 2:23 is a better number. Alright, I'll quit yammering. Gotta get back and at it, out there in the hustle and bustle. And speaking of 2:23, we'll end this program with the song entitled 2:23 from the dim session entitled The Spectre of 2:23, out now at dakotaslim.bandcamp.com. Grab it while it's still $2.23, or pay more if you'd like. Again, Patreon, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all the things. Look below, subscribe, follow, and I hope to see you at the HAUNTQUINOX. And with that, haunt on.